I'll tell you, nothing can ever match the bond of a mother and a daughter. Let's review Run. Run stars Sarah Paulson, Kira Allen, and is directed by Anish Chaganty. What is up, guys? It's time for a few and far between 2020 review. I know there's probably more movies out there, 2020 movies out there. I just don't get to see them all because you have to go looking on streaming. You can't just like look at your local theater and see, oh, this is playing this week and this is playing this week. No, it's more of like a scavenger hunt now. And a new movie that's cropped up on Hulu is Run. And this is pretty much a love letter to Misery. I watched the trailer for this, and right away I was like, "Oh, this is just like Misery, pretty much." You know, it's an updated version with a little bit of a recalibration, but all in all, it's just one of those stories where you have a person held captive for the duration of the movie, and in this case, it's a daughter. And by the way, before we get into this review, I just hit 40,000 subscribers. When I say that out loud, I can't believe it. That's just astonishing to me. I have to say thank you. Like, thank you from the bottom of my heart. Seriously, guys, that means the world to me. But anyway, let's jump into the review. Got to do the work, right? So Kira Allen, she plays Chloe. She is the daughter of Diane Sherman, played by Sarah Paulson, the hardest working woman in Hollywood. Prove me wrong. Like, this woman is just in everything lately. Movies, TV, American Horror Story, just all kinds of stuff. And she does a great job. But this is one of those stories at face value that's like an over-possessive mother. At the beginning of the movie, we see her looking at Chloe, who is a newborn. But you know that there's something a little fishy about this relationship. And you know, this is true stuff right here. There are so many cases of over-possessive parents. Most of the time, I would say it's mothers, just because there's nothing like the bond between a mother and a child. And mothers and daughters especially, there's some kind of weird connection there. And sometimes that connection can go to the negative and it can go to the positive. And that's really what this movie is about. This is a mother that pretty much devotes 100% of her life to her daughter because her daughter is disabled.
You do everything for me. You teach me. You cook for me. Am I a burden?
Sweetheart,
I could do more.
Pretty much wakes her up in the morning, makes her meals, homeschools her, start to finish, puts her in bed, everything. So the daughter is completely dependent on the mother. So that presents some great opportunities for a nice thriller, right? So as the layers of the story are peeled back, Chloe notices that her mother is being a little bit possessive about the use of the internet. She has questions about the pills that she's taking. You know, these are normal questions that a daughter would probably have. And through her investigation, she starts finding out that there's some weird stuff going on, and the mother might be hiding something. And I'm not going to go into any spoilers, but I will say, loved this movie, and especially loved the twist in the final act. Because I like a good twist where they surprise me. And this one definitely surprised me because this is the type of movie that you can easily form your own hypothesis for the end of this movie. I thought it could go a couple different ways, and the way that it did go, I enjoyed quite a bit, actually. Now, first off, this movie just pays homage to Stephen King through and through. This just feels like a Stephen King type of story. If you watch the movie, you're going to notice some Stephen King Easter eggs in there. The theater is called Carrie Theater. They make a reference to like a dairy, Maine. You know, just other little Easter eggs like that throughout. So it's like they're winking at the audience saying, yes, we know this is a very similar story to Misery. Please cut us some freaking slack. That's pretty much what they're doing when they do this stuff. Because, I mean, this story, it's pretty much a Stephen King type of story. And it borrows a lot, and I mean a lot, from Misery. So I think it's safe to say it's a love letter to Misery. But, you know, nuts and bolts. You got some great freaking acting here, great directing. Sarah Paulson is very convincing as Diane. A little scary at times, but she doesn't take it too far because the expectancy is to sometimes go over the line, And you could say that Kathy Bates definitely goes over the line, and it's highly enjoyable. But Sarah Paulson, you know, she keeps it reined in throughout, so that throughout the movie, you might have some questions like, is what she's doing like really wrong? Or is what she's doing like normal, you know, up to a point. Also, I love movies like this with a premise where a character is disabled. It could be disabled from birth, or it could be like in Misery, where you had the writer, he was disabled from a car accident. That just literally gives our protagonist a handicap. And so every time they're trying to escape, we're gripping our chair and we're constantly rooting for them, and we're almost shouting at the screen, look behind you. You know, get through the door before the mother comes in, you know, stuff like that. I memean, Misery was just full of this type stuff. I remember seeing Misery in the theater. I saw it twice. It's one of those movies where the crowd is completely involved. You know, it was one of the loudest audiences I've ever seen a movie with. Never forget it. And this has some moments like this. And this would have been interesting to see on the big screen, because this was originally supposed to go in the theater, but stupid COVID. But still, it was cool that Hulu got the rights to it and was able to put it out there. Now, Kira Allen, I've never seen her in anything. She is actually handicapped, which is so nice and refreshing. And I believe that we haven't had an actual handicapped actor play this type of character, I think, since the 40s, if my research serves me correctly. We've had characters in wheelchairs, like real disabled people in movies, right? That can't be right. Subscribers, let me know in the comments. That can't be right. But she does a fantastic job. My favorite part, too, is when she's on the roof. You know, she's trying to get out of her room, and her room is locked, so she gets on the roof. And just the way that whole scene is directed and handled is really effective and nail-biting. But also, I just love how there's very limited actors throughout this movie. Very limited characters. There's, for the most part, just 2 characters throughout this movie. Yeah, they do venture out. They go into the local drugstore, but I mean, for the most part, it's just the mother and the daughter, and they keep your attention throughout the whole thing. You know, there's just this like tug of war between the mother and the daughter, and you're constantly rooting for the daughter to figure a way out of this horrible situation. So in the end, guys, I'm gonna give this a purchase worthy. It surprised me, and it probably makes my top 10 of the year. I'll have to look at my list, but I enjoyed it. Very refreshing. It just flew by, you know. It's a nice Saturday afternoon, just fun time watching a movie, eating some snacks, and I enjoyed the hell out of it. So let me know in the comments your thoughts on Run. Looking forward to hearing them. Also, be sure to come over to Killer Flicks, where we talk horror all day and every day, and on Fridays, we do Free For All Fridays. Follow me on my socials anyway. Thank you guys for watching. Have a great day, and Drumdum out.